What's up, guys? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I am here once again with my brother, William Roy. What up, Willie?
What's that?
How you doing?
Yeah, living the quarantine life.
Oh, yeah. Did you work out yet today?
Nope. I got some sprints to do later.
I just finished and it was a doozy. I'm doing some weird stuff right now. I'm just trying to get as creative as possible. Uh, I'm
Yeah,
like making
he sent me a video of him rolling a bench press up on top of him to bench press off the floor.
So yeah, I haven't benched in probably like 2 or 3 weeks, right? And it's like, man, I really like. I'm doing a lot more overhead pressing, but I was like, I still want to, give my bench some love, see if I've lost any strength or anything. So I basically laid on the floor and rolled the barbell to my hips, did a hip thrust to get the bar up over my chest, and then just did like floor press.
Pretty safe.
225 for a few sets. Wasn't bad. It's pretty good. I was pretty happy with that. With fat grips, by the way, too, on the bar, which makes it harder. So no, I was pretty happy with that. But then I did some I didn't even send you a video of it, but I did some I had the axle bar loaded on one side with 95 pounds. And then I had a 40-pound kettlebell on the other side of me. And I went down like a hex bar deadlift kind of. And I deadlifted them both up. So I have like the bar in one hand and the kettlebell in the other hand. And clean the kettlebell up and doing like overhead pressing with the kettlebell while I just hold the axle bar at my side with the other arm.
Yeah. Well, why didn't you just bench with the axle bar? Wouldn't that have been easier?
Well, no, because at first when I started, like Sarah was out there with me, and I was like, oh, I'll just have her deadlift the bar up and hand it to me. But that was a disaster. Like that made it to about 95 pounds. And then once I got heavier than that, she started freaking out and didn't want to do it anymore. So
Yeah.
I had to improvise.
All right.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. We appreciate you, whether you're tuning in via the podcast or YouTube. Um, Trying to get a quick show in today. We've already ranted a little bit, but I
Rants,
got, huh?
rants are the best though. So it happens.
Okay, yeah. I miss training so much. That's all I really want to talk about. But today we're going to talk about motivation. So I actually, I've been putting feelers out on social media and everything. Just trying to see, what I can help people with and everything like that. And one of the ones that I got sent was motivation. It was from one of my baseball guys. I won't say anybody's name, but it's from one of my baseball guys, and he just said, how can he help stay motivated? Like, how can he stay motivated during these bizarre times? So that's what we're going to cover today. So you ready, Willie?
Let's do it.
All right. So this is something I'm sure a lot of people are struggling with, myself included. Like William could probably attest to this. Like I've never been described as lacking motivation. But it's different. I mean, this is unprecedented times. Nobody's dealt with anything like this before. So it's very easy to kind of, get caught up in everything going on and just kind of really lose your way, I guess you could say. So this is things that I've been struggling with and things that I've been thinking myself, but things that I've also been practicing myself that have really, I found to help me. And a lot of them are just, base rooted rules, fundamental rules that I've always kind of lived by, that I'm grasping more to now, more than ever. So I'm going to share that stuff with you guys. William's going to jump in and add to some things and all that and shed some insight on things that he's doing. But ultimately, what I've done is I've kind of broken these things down into basically mindset, how to shift your mindset, and then actual practical things that we can do to kind of help us stay motivated and everything. So we'll go ahead and get started if you don't have anything else to add.
No, let's go. Let's do it.
All right. So we're going to start with more of the mindset-based stuff. So when it comes to staying motivated, there's a big mindset shift that needs to take place. So the number one thing that you have to keep in mind when we're trying to stay motivated, especially during times like this, is understanding what your why is. What is your why? What do you ultimately want? What is your ultimate goal? So like for myself, like, even before all this, my ultimate goal at the end of the day was to be, the best coach, strength and conditioning coach, physical preparation coach, whatever you want to call me, to be the best coach that I could possibly be and be a, source of reliability in the field of strength and conditioning, and basically just build a brand up to where, I'm a, the go-to guy in the area for anything fitness, health, strength conditioning related. Like that's what I'm trying to do right now. So that's my ultimate goal. That's my why. So I need to keep that in the back of my head during all this, during these times, because that's going to basically provide me direction as to how I'm going to go about doing things. So that's number one. So understand, what is your why? What do you want? What's your ultimate goal? Without that, then it's going to be really hard to stay motivated because you don't know what direction you need to go. So does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. This goes back. I've been preaching this for a long time to a lot of people. Um, I mean, before all this, it was, what is your why to try to lose weight or anything? Is it, it can't be something flimsy as simple as like, oh, I just want to look good in a mirror. That's just not going to last you. That's not going to get you the amount of time it takes to make a transformation. That kind of why is not going to get you there. Like it has to be rooted in something deeper. And now with this thing going, like my whole why, as crazy as it sounds, I want to stay in shape because we have no idea how far this is going to go. Like, hey, I'm going to be a hard son bitch to kill or catch or whatever the heck it comes to. And you might think I'm paranoid, but I never thought we'd see this today. So, and hey, if you have a family, even more so important that you stay in shape and hunker down and keep everybody's mind clear and active. So I think that's a simple one for people with family and kids. But
yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the bit. So like, if your why, like if you want to be a good baseball player, a good football player, the best athlete as possible, like understand that, because that's going to really set the foundation for the rest of the stuff that we're going to talk about. So, number two, the second thing that we want to kind of focus our mind on and kind of shift our mindset on is focus on what you have and what you can control. There's tons of stuff going on right now. We're getting, it seems like every day we're getting backhanded with something new or some kind of new development. Sometimes it's hopeful news. Most of the time it's not. But at the end of the day, we need to focus on the things we can control. Because if you start feeding into things you can't control, things that you basically can't necessarily, I don't want to say prepare for, but I mean, because you can prepare for most things, but just giving your time and spending your time and your energy and your mental time and energy on worrying and things that you can't control, it's going to basically really chain you down on trying to be productive and trying to stay motivated. Because if you're constantly dragging around this heavy ball and chain of worry and anxiety because you're focusing on things that you have zero control over, worrying about things that might not even happen, then it's going to be hard to kind of shift that mindset to a positive direction.
yeah, and guys, like, let's be real. We know that negativity gets headlines, and that's all you're going to find online and on the news is negativity, especially right now. And if that's what you're starting your day with, then you're just going to be, we already see it. As soon as it got broke, people went and started hoarding toilet paper and cleaning supplies. And, if nothing would have been said, everything would have been normal, everybody would have been fine. Like, we'd all had plenty of toilet paper. It's just everybody got scared, and that's what they did. And that's something that, like, that fear, if you just keep feeding that, then guess what, man? Like, you're going to be paralyzed. You're going to self paralysis. You're going to be scared all day, every day, and you're going to get nothing done.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Side note, I actually found out, I mean, I don't know if it's 100% like ironclad, but I actually think I found out why the toilet paper thing happened. I heard it on a podcast. So just real quick. So like this whole thing started in China, right?
Yeah.
Like there's some political thing going on with China right now. Like I know before all this stuff broke out, like they had like rioters on the streets, protesters and stuff going on and all this stuff. And I think it was something going on with like China and Hong Kong or something like that. And like I think it was China, one or the other. I'm getting them mixed up, I'm sure, but one of the other imports, like they get their toilet paper from the other one. And like when all this political stuff started happening, like they were saying that they're gonna just straight up like cut them off from like imports and stuff, and like they get a majority of their toilet paper from there. So like people in Hong Kong or China, whichever one that receives the toilet paper, like they just started buying it like crazy because they thought that like importing it was gonna stop, so there's gonna be like a shortage on it. And at the same time, all the COVID stuff started breaking out. So then like because they started hoarding it over there because they're gonna get cut off, like somehow that just people, oh shit, we need to start stocking up on toilet paper everywhere else. So like that's kind of how it happened, I'm pretty sure. So
Like, let's not stockpile food. Let's stockpile toilet paper because that's the only way we can wipe our ass. It's
yeah,
like
that's the thing. Well, at first I thought, when this whole stuff broke out, I thought maybe COVID was like a stomach virus and like you just like shit your pants uncontrollably or something. But like, um, it's not. I researched it and it was like upper respiratory, and I'm like, wait, what? That don't make no sense. But yeah. Anyway, so just
yeah,
a little.
control what you can and limit I mean, and this just doesn't go for now. I've been saying this for years. I hate the news. I absolutely despise the news. And that's the reason. It's negative. It's murder. It's rape. It's, you know, every
Also,
now, every now and then they'll throw one good story in for every 20 bad ones.
I will just another side note, just something to go check out. John Krasinski, like our homeboy Jim from The Office. He started this Facebook page and this thing. It's called Some Good News, SGN Network, where he
I
just talks
saw
about,
that.
dude, it's legit, man. That was really good. I mean, I don't know if I'm just, missing social interaction or just, whatever it was, but like I watched this first episode and it kind of made me a little bit emotional. It was really good. But check it out. Some Good News by John Krasinski. It was really good. Moving on though. Next up, the next thing I want you to do is focus on how the best version of yourself would handle this situation. So I do this all the time. So
I,
because what's that?
I said I do as well. This is one that actually works for me, like one of those Jedi mind tricks that you hear people talk about. Like everybody says, like if you focus on gratitude every day, then you'll never have a bad day. That does not work for me. I've tried that. Like maybe I'm an asshole, but this trick does work for me when I really sit back and I think about the best version of me and how I would handle. Like it works. It actually changes my mindset. Like it's
Yeah, for sure. Like, so essentially what you're going to do is, you can close your eyes, however you want to do it. But basically, I want you to envision the person that you want to be, like the best version of yourself. Everything that you wish, you could change about yourself or you could improve about yourself, whatever it is, like envision that person in your head and then envision how that person would go about their day. Like how would that person act? How would that person, what would they be doing? How would they, go from activity to activity? How would they, basically set their day up and move through their day? Like this is a big one for me too. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just, hereditary or whatever, but, I haven't been, I've been pretty open with my, basically kind of how I view myself and my confidence levels and all that stuff. And how I've always felt like I have basically, split personality. I have two different personalities. I have, the Chris that was, pre-lifting, the one that I grew up with all the way up till, my junior year of high school, the really shy, self-conscious, version of myself. But then I have the version of myself that I found once I started lifting, and like the version of myself, when I got the endorphins flowing when I'm lifting, and just the very confident, version of myself that walks with swagger and stuff like that. You know, that's my C. Roy persona that, you know, I like to, you know, joke around about. But, you know, I joke around, but it's true. Like, I definitely carry myself differently when I've, you know, smashed a workout and I got those endorphins flowing and I feel empowered and all that stuff. Like, that's the version of myself. So like when I just think about, like, if I'm faced with a challenge or an obstacle or tough times, I just close my eyes and I'm like, okay, how would I smash through this? Like, how would C. Roy smash through this? Like, how would he go about this? How is he gonna, you know, handle this situation? And and then you just have to put it into practice, man. So envision how the best version of yourself would do things, and then do it. So that's a big one. You said you like that rule. You got anything to add on there? Any practical tips for people?
I mean, you use your version. Maybe it's just the way I grew up. Obviously, I'm older than you, but
A lot older.
I think of characters. What'd you say?
A lot older.
Whatever. Fucking lies.
See,
Um, like I think of characters that I like idolize, and I think about like how those characters carry on, and like there's no stopping them. Like they're just committed, and I mean, this may be a bad example, but like the dude's legit is like my favorite supervillain's Bane. Like Bane, I mean, most people have seen Dark Knight Rises. Like there's no stopping Bane. Like when that dude wanted, like he put the plan together and you ain't stopping him.
until you break his mask.
Yeah. Whatever. All of a sudden Batman, whatever. Like good movie, but I still think Bane kills him. But like I think of a character that like just does not stop. Like so when I find myself in that like a depressed move or stressing about something, it's like, like that character, like he wouldn't be stressing about this. So like it works for me. It's like, okay, no, like put your head down and fight through it. Um, don't don't let it get you down.
Yeah,
And
there's more ways to help handle this situation. We're just giving you multiple options, things that we've all tried and things that have worked for us. Like, and that's just a big one, like that for both of us, really. But you know, it's basically trying all these things and seeing which one moves the needle for you. So, um,
some people meditate, that grounds them. The gratitude thing that I mentioned earlier, you know.
my meditation is lifting. That's my time.
I mean, I tried it. It helped for a little bit for sure. It is something I would like to incorporate into my daily routine at some point again. Um,
I suck at it so bad. Like I'll share, like I have a whole story for it that I'll probably share in like another podcast. But my meditation experience is all over the map.
I mean, it's tough. So
No, yeah, I mean that's the problem. Like I have a serious problem when it comes to trying to do something like that. Like I think it just speaks to how effed up my mind really is. um, but yeah, so that's a big one for both of us. Next, this one, you know, it can sound a little doom and gloom at first, but hopefully if I do a good job of kind of communicating this, then you kind of understand it in the way that I'm viewing it. But and this is a big one really for like right now. You know, this is really just that, like, this isn't, I said a lot of these are rules that I've practiced forever, but this is something that I've just really been focusing on since this whole situation started with the quarantine and all that stuff. But that is, it's stop holding out for things to go back to the way they used to be. Like I look around, you see people on Facebook and all that stuff. Like you just see a ton of people sitting around waiting and hoping for things to go back to the way they used to be. And I think to come out of this better off and to make it through without completely just wasting your life, because we don't know how long this is going to last. Like we have to accept the fact that things aren't going to go, aren't going to go back to the way they used to be. We have to accept the fact that maybe life as we knew it is over, at least for now. And
yeah, even sorry to cut you off, but on that, like, guys, if this ended tomorrow, if they came out and said, everybody, everything's good, like you can go back to work tomorrow, grocery stores, all of them are open, all stores are open, restaurants. You have to realize, you know how many people, even after this thing's over, are not going to be the same? There's going to be tons, especially elderly, that are still going to be walking around in a mask, probably for the rest of the year, if not longer. They'll probably still have their gloves on. Like, normal's not coming back anytime soon.
Yeah, like that's the thing. So like we have to like accept the fact that life as we knew it is over. I mean, and that I know that sounds like super like kind of doom and gloom, but at the same time, like you have to understand that and basically make the choice that it's time to adapt. All right. So like this, like start to change your outlook on this situation. Okay. Like the old way is over. Like now it's time to adapt. These are my new circumstances. This is my new situation. Like, how am I gonna make it out the other end of this thing, better off than when I came into it? Or, like I said, understanding your why. Like, what's your why? Like, my why is to be, the best strength coach, the best physical preparation coach that I can be. I have to understand that there's a ton of other coaches, trainers, everything out there that are in the same position as I am. They're in the same, stuff got cut off just like it did for me, and they can't work just like me. So what am I gonna do to adapt? What am I going to do to separate myself so that way I can come out the other end of this thing ahead of the competition? Like only the strong, only the committed are going to make it through to the other end of this and come out the other end better than when they went in. All right. So start to envision yourself as like that battle tested warrior that's going to grind through this situation and make it out the other end, with your arm raised victorious over everybody else. Like, it's time to adapt. Stop holding out hope. People are sitting around hoping things are going to go back to the way. And what if it's 6 months from now or 8 months from now when it still goes back? Like, you're just going to waste a year of your life, like just hoping and sitting and waiting for things? No. Like, we know our current circumstances. We know where we're at right now. What can we do? It's time to adapt. It's time to grind. It's time to work. Let's do it. So, like, that's where I've really been lately. Like, what can I do to move the needle? This is what I got. This is what I'm dealing with.
It's
Let's
that it's that cliche, that old cliche, man. It's adapt and overcome. Adapt and overcome. That's what you have to do. You're either going to adapt and overcome, or you're going to sit in despair. Like, I mean, those are your choices.
Yep.
Sit in
So
despair, adapt and overcome, which leads us into that last one. I think that's a good segue is, the reason for this. Think of, like you said earlier, we talked off camera before about these. Like, if this was specifically happening to you, and like the higher power, whether it God, Buddha, what are the other?
yeah, and I don't know. I'm not a religious guy, but and whoever you believe in, like
Yeah,
I
whatever
know.
you believe in, whatever you believe in, if they were doing this to you, think back and what would be the reason? Like, I'll give mine, to be honest. Like, and this will probably be a later podcast, but in the earlier podcast that we did, like, I believe in myself and I believe in my brother, obviously. Like, if this would not be happening, this podcast, I've been on his ass for 2 years to try to do this because I think together we're a lot better than we are separate. Especially again, so this gives us opportunity to start this podcast. That's what we're using it for. That's what I'm using it for, to like get this information out there and help. It's probably, we might suck in the beginning, but if we stick to this, I think we're going to be great at it. And that's how I'm seeing this opportunity.
I'm doing this podcast just because I miss your face and I get to see it now.
It's the bald, because I'm bald, sexy.
I'm gonna shave my beard. I'm gonna put it on your head.
You should just shave that beard anyway.
You know what I think I'm gonna do though?
Oh
Because
God.
like, my hair is getting out of control too. I think what I'm gonna do though is just to mess around. I think I'm gonna shave my head and keep the beard.
Do it up.
Straight God of War, straight like Kratos
I
style.
gotta groom it down though. So it's got
No,
to.
yeah, I'm gonna shave the sideburns and then try to funnel it and tone it down so it's like straight Viking.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
But yeah, why not? Hey, if it sucks, ain't nobody gonna see it except Sarah. She'll hate it. But yeah, but no, yeah, it's a weird way to look at it. And that's another thing. Like these last two are really specific to this situation that we're in. It's a really weird way to look at it, and kind of like a self-absorbed way to look at it. But at the same time, I think it could be a productive way to look at it, and that is like if this whole COVID-19 situation, this quarantine, this lockdown, like the world getting shut down, nobody can leave their house. If all of that happened, like if God or whoever you believe in made all this happen just to send you a message, to tell you that you needed to focus on something, what would that be? And now you have all the time in the world to basically work on that and do that. Um, like, I made a post the other day saying like, if time was money, you just hit the lottery, like, because you got endless amounts of it now for the most part. And when this thing's over, we're gonna see who spent that money wisely and who didn't. Like, a lot of people go bankrupt in like the first year or 2 years or whatever when they hit the lottery because people they're not smart with the money. So like right now, like I said, time is money. Be smart with your time. Um,
Yeah,
and
for a
and
lot of people, I mean, this was a godsend for some, especially like if I had young kids and I traveled all the time for work, now I'm home and I get to spend all this time with my kids. Like for a lot of people, I'm sure there's going to be situations out there where, a guy or a girl for that matter, that might be like, wow, like I'm missing out on all this with my kids. They might come out of this and be like, I'm not going back to my job. I'm finding something different.
yeah,
So there's a reason for all this.
it's just how you look at it.
Yeah, it is.
That's why we're starting with all this mindset stuff. Um, but that's a good segue into, let's look at the actual practical stuff we can do now, and then we can start to wrap this up. So the biggest one that I found for me, because I'm struggling with this stuff too, guys. Like, I'm not a huge video game guy, under normal circumstances. But now that I'm trapped at home all day, like I have an Xbox One and a PS4, and like I've gotten caught up playing that stuff some days. Like I told my brother earlier, like I accidentally played for like 2 hours straight yesterday. I got caught up in a game, just because the story was getting good, and like before I knew, I was like, holy shit, I just wasted 2 hours. Like, so it's really, this is stuff that I'm struggling with too. But what I found to be probably the biggest thing, the thing that's gonna move the needle the most, at least for me, is to start your day productively. It's a like being productive, being motivated. It's a very momentous activity. Okay. So meaning, starting off right, making a good decision right out of the gate is going to really kind of set you up for the whole day. So instead of, it's really easy to wake up, roll downstairs and like, oh shit, there's the PS4, like just fire that bad boy up. And before you know it, you've wasted the first 2 hours of your day doing something that's a complete waste of time. So start your day productively. Like that's huge. Like I'll sit down and, write some things down, or I'll sit down and start reading a book, or practice my guitar. Like I've really wanted to practice. I've been really trying to not master, but,
Well,
get.
something else too. Like me and you have both preached it long before this ever started. Get up out of bed, go for a walk.
Oh
Like
yeah.
now it's nice out. Like you can go outside, go for a walk immediately, get fresh air, clear your head, just listen to the birds chirp. Like
I love
that's
starting the
huge.
walk. Yeah. Like
Huge.
just start the day with something productive. So that's number one. So like I said, it's all about momentum. And when you start off on a good note, you're gonna start to build that momentum and set yourself up to be productive and motivated for the rest of the day. Um, the second thing is prioritize. So like actually write down, like I said, that could be the thing that you start your day with. That could be your productive start to your day, is actually waking up, sitting down and actually writing down everything that you want to do that day. If you're an athlete and you want to get stronger, like, okay, I need to work out today. I need to, exercise. I need to work on mobility. I need to, whatever it is. If you're a student, you got to do your homework. You got to learn. You got to still, do your online schooling. You got to write that stuff down. You still want to keep in touch with your buddies and stuff. So, hey, if there is some time where you want to kind of, you know, Xbox Live with them or whatever it's called, like, put that on the list, but prioritize them. What's your why? What's your ultimate goal? And now let's prioritize these things that you want to get done and you want to do, and let's put them in order of importance and prioritize these things to set yourself up to stay motivated and work towards and move the needle on accomplishing that ultimate goal. So that's number two. You got anything to add to that one?
No, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
And then lastly, just stay active. Like I said, it's all about momentum, productivity, and motivation. It's a momentous activity, so you have to stay moving. You know, it's easy to get sucked into the time killers because time goes by so fast when you're doing that stuff. So you got to just kind of keep the ball rolling, keep the momentum going, stay active.
Well,
Um,
this one speaks volumes too, and I can speak very personally on the stay active one. Guys, when I like not only just during these times, but like one won't go in a 2 month, but like I've been through some things in my life, and like depression hit me at those times. If I would have sat inside and did nothing, I probably would have driven myself nuts. But I worked out more. I'd get up. I'd go for many walks. Like you made fun of me 2 years ago, whatever it was, when I went through my ordeal and I dropped to 161 pounds. I didn't drop to 161 pounds because I stopped eating. I was walking a ton because I couldn't sit down and let negative thoughts fill my head. Like,
oh yeah,
felt good to be out moving around. It made me feel better. And
dwell on things when you sit around.
yeah, man, you can't do it. And that's what a lot of people do. And then they wonder why they feel that way. Well, get up and do something. It's amazing what it will do, like for your psyche.
This rule too, like it always, there's a metaphor that I Greg Plitt always used that stuck with me to this day. And it is like when you look at water, like what does water, like standing water, what does that look like? Like a pond, like it's dark, it's brown, it's
Got
got like
bubbles.
green shit like hovering on top of it, stinks, like mosquitoes around it all. Like it's nasty. It's like swampy, just nasty stuff. Like, and you're not supposed to drink standing water. But what about a flowing water, running water, like river, creeks, rapids, all that stuff? It's nice. It's clear. It's white. Like it's good. It's moving. It's alive. It's clean. Like it's better. Like your mind. Like now, think about your mind. Like your body is the water. So like if you're sitting around doing nothing, just sitting there and dwelling, like your mind is going to kind of start to take on those properties of that just standing water, that swampy, nasty, gunky crap. Whereas if you're more active, if you're moving, you're walking, you're exercising, you're staying, productive, you're staying busy, you're going to start to churn. The things are going to keep moving in your mind, and you're going to be more efficient, more productive, feeling better, cleaner, and just overall just more lively and have more energy, which is huge for staying motivated and staying productive. So those are our big three practical things that you can do. So
Yeah, there's like you talking about that made me think of this quote. I wanted to read it. Um, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. There is nothing in this world that can trouble you as much as your own thoughts. Like that is 100% truth.
oh, yeah.
Without question. I don't care what's going on in the world. Like you get inside your own head, you can destroy yourself just as easily as anything on the outside.
Yeah.
And one of the best ways you can ensure doing that is to sit still and do nothing.
Yeah, and I've preached this forever. I've written it in a ton of blogs and articles and stuff that I've done, and that is your mind is a product of its environment. And people when they think environment, yeah, like your household, the people you hang around, like yeah, that's your environment. More importantly, like your mind resides within your body, like that's its first and primary environment. So like healthy body, healthy mind. Lackadaisical, lazy, body, lazy mind. So it starts with the body, get it moving, get it healthy, keep it strong. That's going to keep that mind strong, and then focus on the external environment. Yeah.
That's my thing. Movement is life.
And then focus on your external environment. Like William said, like stay off of the news, all the negative news and all that stuff like that. Like, trust me, if something happens so drastically where it's going to really impact your life, you're going to find out about it. Like, you don't need to go on Facebook or all these other places that to focus or to try and find this stuff. There's going to be tons of, these news networks. They need to stay in business just like anybody else. So they're going to be trying to post stuff every day just to get clicks, just
Wait,
to pay their bills.
I
So
I don't know if I should be admitting to this, but I am not on the news so much so that I knew nothing about COVID-19 until about a week before I got laid off of work. Like,
yeah,
I
it's
didn't even know what was going on. I was
yeah.
like, what the hell?
But you're gonna find out. Like, if it's a big enough news story and has enough credibility to where it's legit and you need to worry about it or you need to know about it, you'll find out. You don't need to find out through Facebook. So stay off of that stuff. Stay off. Facebook's the worst because you'll get everybody. Like Instagram, you can go through and you can choose who you follow. Follow the people that are putting out positive vibes. Follow the people that are putting out good news and good energy.
Yeah,
Like,
like
and
rock.
and surround yourself with that type of environment secondly. All right, so internal environment first and foremost, then you focus on your external environment, and then everything else will fall into place from there, guys. So that's it. That's all we got to stay motivated. I hope that helps you guys. Like I said, this is something that I'm sure a lot of people are struggling with, um, and we're all in it together. So put some of these things into practice, see what sticks, see what moves the needle for you, and like I said, start thinking about who you want to be, getting on the other end of this thing, who you want to be coming out of this, and start living that way. So, you got anything to add before we wrap this up, Willie?
No, I think that's it.
Cool. So I hope that helps, guys. If you found that helpful, if you found that valuable, if you think that there's people that could, benefit from this information, if you know people that are struggling with this, share this, send this out to them, share it to your social medias. Be one of those people that are sending out positive vibes. Be one of those people that are putting out good energy and good news and things like that. And share this show with them so that way you can be that for them and you can help somebody else. So, other than that, subscribe to the show, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like it, share it, and comment on it. Let us know what you thought. Let us know which one of these practical and mindset, practices work best for you. And then we'll just keep pumping this stuff out and helping you guys and staying in touch. So, you want to sign us out, Will?
Yes, sir. Let's see Roy, Will Roy, and this is the Roy Boys Standard, and we out.